What's the worst thing that happened when you defied your family's conditioning? My dad enforced total silence in our house after 7 p.m. He bought a decibel meter to keep in the house and would crash out if it registered anything above 30 decibels, which is basically a whisper. He forced us to wear special soundproof slippers and made us go outside if we had to cough or sneeze, even during rain or now. My brother once got grounded for 2 weeks because he accidentally let his stomach growl during quiet hours. Dad's justification for this was that noise was destroying society and silence would reset our brains. But really, he just wanted to just forget he had a family. Mom left after 6 months, saying she'd rather be homeless than live in a tomb where she couldn't laugh at her own TV shows. She fought Dad for custody, but he had all the money and lawyers and convinced a judge that the silence was character building. Dad used her leaving and his custody victory as proof that noise corrupted people's judgment and made the rules even stricter, installing soundproof padding on every door and banning anything that could possibly make sound, including keyboards, hair dryers, even electric toothbrushes. He made us eat dinner at 6:45 and brush our teeth by 6:55 so we could be in our rooms by 7 for what he called our nightly meditation. My older brother Miles saved my sanity when he found an abandoned TV at a garage sale and secretly set it up in the basement storage room that Dad never checked because it was full of Mom's old things. He ran an extension cord from the water heater and created this tiny sanctuary where we could whisper and watch shows with the volume barely audible. We dragged down pillows to sit on and hung blankets over the door to muffle any sound that might escape. And for 2 years, that cramped room was the only place we felt human after 7. The TV was ancient with a cracked screen and a power cord held together with electrical tape that always smelled like burning plastic. Miles kept saying we should get rid of it before Dad found it, but it was our only connection to normal life, so we kept using it despite the sparks it made when you turned it on. We couldn't buy a better one because Dad monitored our bank accounts for what he called frivolous purchases. One night, we were watching a show with the volume so low we could barely hear it when smoke started pouring from the back of the TV. The electrical tape had melted through and flames were climbing up the wall, spreading to Mom's old clothes and the boxes Dad had packed away. The storage room filled with toxic black smoke that made our eyes stream and lungs burn as we tried to smother the fire with blankets that caught fire too. Miles dragged me out of the room as flames spread into the ceiling beams, and we realized we had to wake Dad even though it meant revealing everything. Dad slept with noise-canceling headphones to ensure perfect silence, so Miles had to pound on his door screaming about the fire while I ran through the house opening windows to clear the smoke billowing up from the basement. When Dad finally opened his door, his face went from confused to furious as he processed the noise we were making at 11:30 at night. "There's a fire in the basement and we need to get out now," Miles shouted, grabbing Dad's arm to pull him toward the stairs where smoke was already visible. Dad jerked away and started screaming about how we'd violated his trust and destroyed the sanctity of quiet hours, even as smoke poured under his bedroom door. He actually grabbed his decibel meter to show us we'd exceeded acceptable noise levels by 300%, while flames started eating through the ceiling behind him. The smoke detector was shrieking and the fire was roaring through the walls, but Dad was more concerned about the broken rule than the fact that his house was burning down. "This is what happens when you can't follow simple instructions about maintaining silence," he said, standing there in his pajamas as the hallway filled with smoke that made us all start coughing. Miles tried to drag him toward the stairs, but Dad shoved him back, saying he needed to document our noise violation for insurance purposes, because this was clearly our fault for creating what he called a den of chaos in his house. He started taking photos of his decibel meter readings while the ceiling began to buckle from the heat, completely oblivious to the danger because his rage about the broken silence rule had overtaken every survival instinct. "Dad, you're going to die if you don't move right now," I shouted, but he just pointed at the meter showing my voice had hit 90 decibels. The fire department sirens were getting closer, and neighbors were screaming outside, and Dad stood there breaking his own decimal meter screaming at us about how none of this would have happened if we just followed his simple rule about silence while his house turned into an inferno around him. Full story on the channel below.